Welcome back to Custer and Wolfe, Building a Watch Company. I'm RT.
And I'm Tyler.
Today we're talking about all the progress that Tyler's made on the Mechanical Products Field Watch, our new watch that's coming out in September on Kickstarter, and all kinds of cool behind the scenes how it's made about the case specifically, with a bonus of the Star Wars watch. Don't miss it. All right, so we got a really good question about 10 size pocket watches, and that's the size that the Hamilton movements inside of our Victory watch, those are called 10 size, and that's the smaller one. The customer asked, his name's Robert, thank you, Robert, he asked, will we be making any other 10 size watches besides the Victory watch?
The answer is yes. First of all, we are currently in the process of building some more of those Victory watches.
Mm-hmm.
We should have serviced movements next week.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. We're going to do some different case finishes and play with some of our new finishing equipment. So that'll be cool.
Batch 2.
But yeah, we have, I don't know, maybe 5 different movements that we also want to make into watches. Not that they'll necessarily go in the same exact case.
Yep.
But I think we have some Walthams, we have some of those D10 Elgins, we have Howard 10 sizes.
Oh yeah, the Howard ones are cool.
That's all I can think of right now. But
Yeah.
yes, the answer is yes. I don't have a timeline.
Yeah, the
We've
Elgin
been pretty
ones were in
busy,
my
but-
head. Oh, the Illinois also made that, the thinner one. I forget what they call it. But yeah, we definitely have a handful of them, but
Mhm.
not anytime soon. I guess our focus right now is the Hamilton movements and the Victory watch and making future batches of that.
Yeah, recently we've just had so many projects that we're kind of working on, and we got to draw the line somewhere.
Yep. And this project is much more important. So let's dive into prototyping the Mechanical Products Field Watch.
Yep, so this is exciting. How long have we been wanting to make a modern watch?
I mean, years.
Like 5 years?
Yeah. I mean, the story, and I've been thinking about this a lot, is like, how do we position the Kickstarter campaign and the Kickstarter video? But the story is, we, for almost a decade, have been turning antique American pocket watches into wristwatches. And while these watches are amazing and we love them, we don't get to design the dial, the hands, the movement, like the whole watch. We're just designing the outside. So this watch, the Field Watch, is your watch, and you are designing something that you've always wanted to make.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but that's really like,
Yeah, I mean, it's not apples to apples with what we currently make. It's just
Right.
totally different price point, totally different customer, totally different purpose for the watch. You know, the movements that we use in the watches we build today have already lasted 100 years,
Right.
and you know, have already proved that they will last forever. But they are not. You can't jump in the pool. We don't recommend you go hiking with an antique pocket watch on your wrist.
Yep.
This is a rugged, affordable timepiece that will still last forever. And it's just a totally different experience having the same movement every time. Making dials is going to be a huge challenge, and also super fun and rewarding. But right now, the progress I've made over the last 2 weeks is pretty much just a case, bezel, and back. You can kind of see the watch starting to take shape. We machine the crown guards right into the case. The case back is kind of cool. It's sunken right in. We're doing exhibition backs on all of the modern products.
yeah, you can see the Americron movement and the rotor in the back. Spoiler alert, it's a automatic watch. You know, a lot of people have been asking for that. And what's the size of the case?
This is a 40 millimeter case.
40, that's going to blow people's minds.
So it's kind of,
Vortic is making a small watch.
man, everything feels so tiny on these things. Like the bezel is just, we need to start buying smaller material because there's so much extra material when I machine them.
Oh, yeah. Well, you can see here, right? Like, so this is like, would you say like this is like halfway through or 2/3 way? Like
That's
use
the
this.
first of 2 ops.
Got it. Okay. So you use this slot here to slide into the fixture, and that's what holds it. And then you're milling out all of this. And then how do you slice it off this?
Yeah, so then this gets turned over onto an expanding collet, and it's held like that, and then we kind of machine this hat
it
off.
from the other side. Got
Yep.
it. Yep.
Yep. Yeah, on the first op, we're using the 5-axis. So we're making all of these on the 5-axis out of 316 right now, 316 stainless.
Yep.
And that's really the only way you can machine crown guards like this into the watch. But the 5-axis also allows us to drill the holes in the lugs and do all the case tube stuff all in one operation. That's something that's difficult on a 3-axis machine. Our cases have to go through 5 different operations as we give the machine access to each side of it to do all the rest of this stuff.
And the 5-axis, like the thing you mount it to is rotating. Right?
Yep. So, yeah, the table of our machine can spin and tilt.
Yep.
In addition to XYZ.
Yep. And when you say crown guard, it's these little guys on either side of the crown, and then obviously this is just the prototype, so the stem sticking out. But
yeah, exactly. I kind of thought it'd be cool to show how we get some of this stuff. So this is our first batch of FTS movements, the Americron movements, which is super cool. This is kind of how we get them from them.
The Americron is really cool as far as just the rotor and the rotor design, and it's the purpose of it. So FTS is Fine Timepiece Solutions down in Fountain Hills, Arizona, and they're the only company that is assembling movements in America at scale. And honestly, the only company that we could work with if we want at least an American assembled movement. So really exciting.
It's absolutely the most American thing, most American movement we can put in our watch.
Yeah, besides antique movements.
Exactly.
You know,
if we want an automatic
watch.
modern movement, this is pretty much it. I mean, we're aware of multiple other people that are, manufacturing movements in the United States at a very small scale for $10,000 plus.
Right.
But for a watch under $1,000,
this is the only one.
There is not a second option.
Yep.
So luckily, we really like these guys, and we have a really similar kind of goal with our company as they do. They're definitely trying to increase the amount of American-made parts in these watches as things move forward. But as of now, the parts are made around the world, and they are assembled in Fountain Hills, Arizona.
Mm-hmm. And that's how we get them. So we don't get the rotor.
So this is the base movement.
Yep.
This is the crown and stem. So we'll have to chop that stem off and then file it down and thread on our own crown, which is not on that watch yet. The reason that they don't come with the rotors attached is because you need to support a certain jewel as you press the hands on. That way we don't risk damaging the movement.
Yep.
So we've got a special fixture that supports that jewel, put the dial and hands on, and then we attach the rotor last. So that all kind of comes separately.
Yep. So some assembly required here in the Vortic shop. But
and we're actually talking to them about possibly having them do that part of it first.
We'd have to send them dials and hands.
Exactly.
And then they would send us the movement dial hand assembly, and then we would do the rest.
Ready to be put into a watch,
Yep. So we got movements in hand. We have 100 of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so those will be the first batch or prototypes of these new watches. And we're making, in the Kickstarter, we're making 2 watches. So this is a field watch, and that's yours. And then we're also going to do a military watch. That's going to be my design. And I'm really excited about that. But we got to start somewhere. So this is the first one. So what else? I mean, what else have you been working on as far as like case and watch design of the field watch?
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of cool to see the different steps in the process. I've probably run, I think I've got the 5th case sitting on the DMU right now. It's each time you kind of notice small little things, and sometimes things go well, sometimes things don't go as well. Sometimes you think you improved something and you made it worse. So we're kind of in that iteration phase right now. You can see this is all like these materials are just showing up. These are prototype crystals from Jules Burrell. We've got O-rings. We've got crystal gaskets. Just got here yesterday afternoon. So, each watch has four O-rings.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Two crystal gaskets. This is kind of how we get them, just in these little envelopes.
And those are what create water resistance between all the different seals.
Exactly.
And the other thing we talked about yesterday that I think is kind of a cool like mid-design realization is, I mean, you inlaid the case back, which I think is awesome. But then we were like, well, I wonder if we could make the case back a little smaller and then engrave the back of the watch on the case instead of the case back. And that's interesting because it's the same process for us, but if you notice on modern watches, when they're engraved on the case back, it's not always like, I mean, in the marketing pictures, the engraving is straight up and down. Like when you hold the watch like this, they make sure that, made in USA and Vortic Watch Co. and whatever is engraved straight up and down or as much as possible. But that's not realistic with a threaded case back because it's always going to be a little bit left or a little bit right, when you fully tighten it down. But if we engrave the case, now it can be perfectly symmetric every single time. And I think that's cool. I think that's worth exploring if you do.
Yeah, there's a lot of little things. I need to learn how to use our laser better. That's another big thing on my list.
Yep.
We've had somebody else here running it since we bought it, and now that I need to make some prototypes, I need to learn how to use it myself.
Yep.
But yeah, really things like cool engraving, making dials. We're engraving some crowns for an upcoming release in June.
Yeah,
it's all fun stuff.
Yep. Yeah. So at this point, we're missing the crystals on front and back. Obviously the O-rings, the crown would need to be adjusted, and then the dial and hands.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yep. Yeah, I ordered just about everything on Friday last week. All of these little parts, so we're still waiting on a few things.
And then you're going to make the dial.
But this is cool. We're going to have a wearable watch this week, which makes me happy because I told everybody by end of April, and we're there.
We're right here. Yeah. So this, your actual next step is making dials, right?
Yeah. So this afternoon will be crowns and dials.
Cool. That's exciting. Super exciting. So that's the mechanical products prototyping process that we'll keep you posted on. I mean, we got our Kickstarter is going to launch in September, so still have months out, but
right, that's the plan.
We want to make dozens of iterations of these before we even release pre-orders. So,
I have a question for the audience.
Yeah, that's why we're here.
The plan is, so we're using spring bars for our straps as opposed to on our normal watches. Do we call them normal watches?
Artisan series
watches.
Artisan series, yep.
And we drilled the lugs all the way through to make it easy to use even a paper clip, just something pointy to be able to change the strap.
Mm-hmm.
How interested would people be in having one of those quick change spring bars where you can just use your finger here to kind of pull that lever and change the strap easily? We have to get custom straps to do that.
Yep.
So that'll be a big step. And this is just a strap I had laying around.
So is it worth? So if we got,
I'm curious how much people would enjoy that, or if they don't really care.
Yep. So if we got those quick release spring bars, so you can actually just use like your fingernail to change the strap instead of a tool. Would you still drill the holes all the way through?
Yes.
Okay, so it doesn't change the watch at all.
You can still this is a 20 millimeter strap. You can still put any 20 millimeter strap on this watch. But for the straps that we're going to have made, do we take that extra step to, make that cutout in the leather itself so we can use those special spring bars?
Yep. So do you want our straps to come with those embedded quick release spring bars? You will be able to put any strap on this watch and you use a tool to take any strap off. But do you want hours to have those embedded quick release spring bars? I think that's a great question. So comment on this YouTube video, let us know, or send us an email with ideas. This is our first time making a fully modern watch, and there's lots of little exciting questions like that we get to ask along the way. So I'm excited. So I've been working mostly on raising money through our talking to investors and things like that, and trying to figure out how to finance all of this stuff, and which is really exciting to me, but is kind of a boring process probably for the audience. So what the other part of that is all of the marketing behind what are we doing next? What are we doing with the American Artisan series? What are we doing with the new products? And when we talk about marketing, we can talk about specific watches like this one. We've been releasing a few of these lume watches, or watches that have lume on the dial, that Kent's been so gracious to make a few of them. This takes a long time and a lot of patience from Kent. This watch, if we did our math right, this video will come out after this watch is already released. This watch has already probably been sold if you're watching this, because it's the coolest watch. I don't know. We always say this is the coolest, but like, they're all cool. This watch is really freaking cool. We're releasing this watch on Star Wars Day, which is May 4th, because it's awesome. It's like Darth Vader style watch, but the lume is spectacular. Kyle is, some of you watching this remember speaking to Kyle. He had this crazy idea to find a dial that was very worn down that we probably couldn't use, but we could still salvage if we painted the numerals on. And so we painted with lume material on the numerals here. And I mean, the dial is just spectacular. But since the dial was all black, then we did an all black case and black strap, and we did a DLC coating on the case back. So it's all black all the way around. This is an Elgin movement. This is the Chicago 532, but it'll come out on May 4th for Star Wars Day, and I imagine it will sell quite quickly because it's really cool.
Yeah, we haven't DLC'd a case back since, I think, the first military edition, or maybe the first two.
Yeah, I think we did on the first two. Yep. This is the only DLC case back on an Artisan
If
series.
he would have asked me before he sent it off, I probably would have said not to DLC the case back, but I kind of like it.
Yeah, I mean, I like typically the normal case backs. It's just so easy to read the engraving and stuff like that. You can still read the engraving on this one,
Well, with our new laser, it's actually burned into the material,
it's
not
different
just marked.
I mean, this is awesome. And Kyle ordered a special strap for this watch. This is just our standard black strap, but Kyle did order a special strap for it that it will come with. So this watch will come with two straps once we get that special one in. But he found this really cool all black strap that it'll come with. So I just love that watch.
This watch is cool.
So we'll keep in these episodes, we'll keep updating you on all the prototyping of our new products. This is the field watch. Again, everything but the dial and hands basically at this point. So Tyler will have another 2 weeks to work on all those iterations and show you what happens next time. And then we'll keep bringing you cool Artisan Series watches that we can highlight along the way to say, we're not going to stop taking pocket watches and turn them into wrist watches. This is our bread and butter. This is how we built the company. And they're just so cool. So we're going to keep doing that. But if you have any other ideas, any feedback for Tyler, especially around that question we asked about the strap and the quick release, please comment on this YouTube video. Please, while you're there, subscribe here on YouTube, and then definitely go to vorticwatches.com and sign up for our newsletter so you can get the alerts that these episodes are coming out. We're going to continue to provide behind the scenes shots like this so you can see for the next few months as we build a watch company. That's why it's called Custer and Wolfe, Building a Watch Company. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you next time.